Good morning and welcome to another episode of Outdoors with John. Today is the last day in March 2019. It's about 10 of 8 in the morning. We're going to hike the Pequot Trail this morning, which is a Connecticut Blue Blaze trail. It's about 8 miles long. We're actually just going to do the northern 3.5 mile section of the trail. We're starting just south of Route 2. For short section here, we're going to be walking along Route 2. Okay, here's where Pequot Trail jumps back in the woods. As a note, we basically walked from the other side of the gas station over here. There is a mini mart there. It doesn't seem to be open now, but if we were to hike the full 8 miles, you might be able to get some water or some snacks here at the Sunoco. Shortly after leaving Route 2, the trail crosses an old cart path. The Pequot Trail was developed in the 1930s. It originally went from Preston to Ledyard Lantern Hill, where it connected with the Narragansett Trail. The southern section of the trail is no longer available. However, CFPA, Connecticut Forest and Parks Association, is working with the Shetucket Pequot tribe to potentially restore the trail on tribal lands. It's a beautiful morning for a hike. I chose to come out this morning mainly because it's supposed to rain at around 1 o'clock. Temperatures are around 53 degrees right now. The Pequot Trail was established in the 1930s, and it was named after the Shetucket Pequot tribe, whose land it passes through. This section north of Route 2, the Pequot Trail, follows a valley and a stream running north to its terminus on Route 165 in Preston. About a mile into our hike, and we're coming to an intersection here with maybe a farm road. As you can see, looking east, it's gated. We want to go west and north. Okay, we're definitely joining some kind of a dirt road here with a little bit of a water problem. Seems to be a lot of dirt roads back here, some of them more developed than others, but the path kind of crosses them and doesn't really stick with them. Kind of goes its own way. Coming out of the woods and crossing a power line. It's like we're on a small dirt road after crossing the power line. Well, I'll take a dirt road over Route 2 any day, even if it does have a little mud in it. Well, we've entered a scenic stretch of the trail where the cart path and a small stream worked their way through a hollow. Property on the left is private property and there are no trespassing signs, but you can see from here that it's quite scenic up there. This area drains to the Thames River, and the Thames River finds its way to Long Island Sound in New London, Connecticut. The swampy area's got the frogs getting up and waking up for the season. Hear them now. Nature's coming back to life. Just about springtime. Tomorrow will be April 1st. And before you know it, the leaves will be back. And the ticks will be out in throngs. So I recommend you protect yourself when you're hiking in the woods. The clothes I'm wearing today have been treated with permethrin, which I think is a great way to avoid ticks. I highly recommend it. There are plenty of YouTube videos on how to treat your clothing with permethrin. Okay, we have a little bit of a water crossing here on the road. Just a note, we're hiking here in early spring, and a lot of this water probably wouldn't be here in the middle of the summer. In fact, a lot of this stuff is seasonal runoff. A good idea for spring hiking would be to bring a pair of extra shoes and socks and leave them at your vehicle, so that when you do get back, you don't have to drive back in wet and muddy feet. And about 2 miles in, we cross over the power line again, this time going from west to east. Unfortunately, it looks like we've got some more mud. There's a lot of water here, but it looks like the trail goes over to the right. Looks like we have ourselves a vernal pool here. This is probably the steepest section so far. Certainly the longest steep section on the trail today. About 2 3/4 miles, jump back out on the power lines again. Although it's the power lines, gives us our first great view of the hills off in the distance. About 3 miles in, you're going to come to a little confusion in the trail. You definitely want to go left, even though it has you going straight on the power lines after you come down in the dip. Well, it looks like an old Dodge or maybe a Plymouth. Maybe 60s vintage. Alright, this looks like the bridge is not in good shape here, but it's the only bridge I've seen so far on this section of the trail. We'll try to get across it without going in the drink. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Despite the looks, the bridge was fairly sturdy. We're almost at the end of the trail here. We will be joining Route 165 shortly. That's what Alright folks, we reached Route 164, the northern terminus of the Pequot Trail. There's parking for a couple cars here, looks like. Well, I haven't shot much video on the way back because I've been trying to beat the rain. Had a lot of wind, clouds rolling in and winds. And I'm starting to feel some drops now. I'm hoping it doesn't break out in a full out rain. Okay, I'm sure you can tell from the windows of the truck, it's been raining. So I got back to the car, 7.8 mile hike. The last mile was in, I would call, intermittent showers. The last quarter mile was significant showers. Still mostly dry, I guess. Great hike, really enjoyed the scenery. Wasn't a lot up and down, plenty of stream crossings. Really enjoyed the hollow there. Not a lot of mountains to climb, but a fair amount of up and down. So I would definitely recommend it. There's a little bit of parking on this end, and there's a little bit of parking at the other end. And thanks for joining me today on the hike, and I hope to see you out here on the next hike.